Hello everybody, Joe Bagdon's here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. I'm a tired boy today, so I got my coffee. I've already gone through an entire pot. Working on the second. Still not doing much. Don't know why. Just a sleepy boy today. But. Umineko, we're here. Preamble's over. In my restless dreams, I see that island, Rokinjima. And now, we're back. Moving on. On Rokinjima, this day, or rather this time around, was the same as any other. The typhoon would be coming very soon. The clouds hadn't yet grown thick, but they were moving quickly. Also, I had to fiddle with my microphone settings when I started recording. It was very quiet for some reason. For some reason, my computer settings bumped my microphone volume down to, 50. Instead of, I usually keep it around, 85, 90. Because when I was talking into the mic for my recording, I noticed, weird, on OBS, my, the audio mixer, it's only going up, midway through the green. Normally, when I'm talking, I'm reaching the top of the yellow, and if I get really loud, I'll go into the red a bit. So, not even, breaking the 40, would that be, well, it's minus, because you're subtracting the decibels from the bar. It would hit, the minus 40, which is, not even halfway. And I'm like, that's not going to sound very good. Let me dig around for that. Shitty fucking website that I have to use for my school classes where, the little video plays and we have to record ourselves talking for my Japanese 101 class. The website will, jack control of your microphone, and even if you go into the settings being you don't have permission to touch my fucking, microphone settings, it'll just do it anyway. Even if I go into the microphone settings being hey, don't let external things fuck with you, it'll just bump it up to 100. No matter what I do. Nothing can be done about it. I just have to remember to, go into my settings and make sure I fix everything once I'm done with my assignments. The only thing on Natsu's mind was the plan to cover up Kinzo's absence this year as well. Kraus appeared to have suffered a stomachache from the stress and was resting in his room. Jessica and Kumasawa had left in a boat to go shopping and greet the incoming relatives on Nijima. The servants had been busy since early morning in preparation for the family conference, the greatest event of the year. Shannon and Kanon were getting the guest house ready.
親族の方々を泊めるなら、お屋敷の客室で十分だろうね。
そうね。こっちのお掃除大変だもんね。
Yeah, that's the truth.
でも、ゲストハウスのお掃除は好き。
奥様や他のムカつく使用人もいないから静かでいいもんね。
Oh, the annoying servants? What? Who falls in the annoying category? Well, Goda obviously, but well, he respects Genji, so I guess that only leaves Kumasawa, but she's hard to classify her as annoying. Shannon gave a non-committal smile as she performed a detailed examination of the guest room. Did we forget to clean anything? Do we need to restock anything? She diligently gave the room one final check over.
昨夜も入念に点検したじゃないか。
I really wanted to say again somewhere in that sentence, but it wasn't there.
姉さんは本当に豆だな。
こういう日に限って油断するといたずらされるの。いざって時、大切なものが見つからなかったり。
I'm sure Beatrice will be on her best behavior this year.
閉めておいたはずのものが開いてたり。
姉さんはそそっかしいからね。
Or this time around, I guess.
よく確認しながら仕事をしないからだよ。
だから私と一緒に点検してくれてるんだよね。ありがとう。
I only pay attention when I'm doing electrical and wiring work.
別に感謝されることじゃないよ。姉さんがしっかりしてくれれば僕まで付き合わなくて済む。
本当は私と一緒にいたいんだよね。甘えん坊さんなんだから。
そんなんじゃないってば。
Kanon.
姉さんは最近ジョージ様のことで浮かれてるみたいだからね。
What, feeling a little, left out in the rain?
ミスが多そうで見てられないだけだよ。
カノン君、 ちょっとおしゃべりしよっか。
ダメだよ。仕事中だよ。
私とジョージ様のことばかり茶化して、カノン君とジェシカ様はどうなの？
Yeah.
別に何もないよ。そんなことよりちゃんと仕事は。
Kanon was, very obviously, trying to change the subject. So Shannon snuck up behind him and pushed him down onto the bed. What are we gonna do on the bed, Pomf?
お嬢様に一緒に親族の方々をお迎えに行こうって誘われたのに。
仕事があるし。
嘘。仕事なんか何もないくせに。
We're gonna have a scolding session is what we're gonna do. Shannon and Kanon had switched roles. Normally, Kanon was the one in control, but when it came to romance, it was the opposite. As Shannon had said, Jessica and Kanon were supposed to have been the ones to greet the relatives at the Nijima harbor. However, Kanon had suddenly claimed that he had work to do, so Kumasawa had gone instead. Kanon didn't have any work to do. Shannon knew this.
お嬢様言ってた。文化祭の時のことがあってもやっぱりカノン君が好きだって。
僕は家具なのに。
そうだね。私も家具だね。
なのに姉さんは人間と恋をしてる。
What sin and
で
debauchery.
きるわけなんてないのに。
そうかな。そう決めつけてるから私たちは家具なんじゃないかな。
僕はジェシカお嬢様のことを
Sure, bud.
なんとお仕えする後宮家のご令嬢だとしか思ってない。
Then why are you being so weird about it?
本当に？
本当さ。何？
私ね、ひょっとすると今夜ジョージ様に求婚されるかもしれない。
You know, a fairly high chance, as in hasn't not happened yet. Well, except for was it the fourth game when they all got split up before he even got the chance? But he did anyway through the fucking remote crystal ball or whatever. She had worn an incredibly peaceful smile on her face, but Kanon could tell that there was no way she'd let him change the subject. Kanon realized that she must have made him help out in the guest house in order to talk to him about this, and he clicked his tongue softly.
家具のくせに人間と結婚なんかできるつもりなの？
できると思う。
無理だね。
どうして？
ジョージ様の描く未来の夢を姉さんは叶えられない。
それは
僕たちは人間じゃない。それに劣る家具。ジョージ様は姉さんを人間
Oh,
だ
and
と
I've
思い
seen
込ん
some
で
real
るだけ。
fucking low people, that even, bog standard couch is better than, so.
それはそうかもしれないけど。
今日までよく騙し通してこれたものだと思うよ。そうやっていつまでジョージ様を騙し通せるつもりなの？自分が家具であることを未だに話せない姉さんが。
家具とか人間とか、
Mm-hmm.
そんなの関係ない。ジョージ様は私のすべてを受け止めてくれると思うの。
それを確
Yes,
かめる勇気も
when
ない
she
くせに。
reveals I'm actually a pile of step stools and a trench coat in disguise.
私ね、求婚受けてみようと思うの。
As Shannon looked up at the ceiling, she spoke of the imagined future that she and George would create. Though some anxiety over the future appeared on her face, so did the joy from discovering what it was like to live with a love. As Kanon watched this vivid dream he was being shown, he knew that none of his words would reach Shannon anymore.
好きにしたらいいよ。姉さんは一度言い出したらどこまでも頑固だから。
私の生きたいように生きてみたい。もう家具だからとか
Yep, just live empty head, no thoughts.
そういうのに怯えるのは
All worries roll off my brain like a smooth boiled egg. Kanon walked over to the window silently. He saw the rose garden filled with boring, gray flowers in bloom. He understood that Shannon was acting above her place, and he knew that her tale had no chance of a happy ending. However, he also knew that now Shannon had made her decision. No words of his could change her mind.
なら僕が言えることなんて何もないよ。やめろと言っても姉さんは聞かない。好きにすればと言えば好きにする。なんで僕にそんな話をするのさ。僕の答えなんて姉さんは何も求めてないじゃないか。
She's just planting the little seeds of thoughts in you.
私が知りたいのはカノン君のお嬢様への気持ちなの。
僕は姉さんたちとは何の関係もないよ。
Is this a new track too?
カノン君は本当にお嬢様のことは何とも思っていないの？
思ってないって何度も言ってるよ。
嘘？
どうして嘘だってわかるの？
Because you're so fucking weird about it.
わかるもん。姉さんだもん。
わからないよ。僕の気持ちなんて。
わかるよ。カノン君のことなら私は何でもわかる。
Kind of an open book.
本当にわかってるならどうして聞くんだよ。姉さんはジョージ様のことでもう胸も頭もいっぱいじゃないか。そして僕もそんな一途な姉さんが大好きなんだ。だから僕なりに応援してるんじゃないか。そうでなかったら僕だってお嬢様を好きになりたかった。
There we go. Kanon finally turned to face her, honestly and openly telling her his real emotions. That was what Shannon had wanted to hear. And having heard it, she closed in even further on Kanon's true feelings.
そんな言い方じゃダメ。許さない。
Yeah, you're saying it like it's a bad thing.
じゃあどうすればいいんだよ。なんて言えばいいんだよ。
好きになりたかったなんて言い方でごまかさないで。カノン君の素直な気持ちをそのまま口にすればいいの。
僕には眩しすぎるんだよ。お嬢太陽のようで生き様が眩しすぎて。
Yeah, she gets in like fucking boncho fights apparently with her brass knuckles.
そんなお嬢様が好きなんだ。そんなお嬢様に手を差し伸べられて共に歩こうと言ってもらえて嬉しかった。嬉しいんだ。
好きなんだよね。
ああ、好きさ。お嬢様が大好きだ。
Man, you caved real fucking quick, bud. Finally, Kanon confessed his feelings in their entirety. In fact, by saying it aloud, he finally understood how he truly felt. As passionate tears welled up in his eyes, Kanon finally accepted it. Couldn't stop the tears from dripping down his
お
face.
嬢様も僕もこの島に
She
閉
just
じ込め
like
られ
me,
て
for real, for real.
何の希望もなく生きてるのは全く同じだった。なのにお嬢様は自らの道を自ら照らし、自らの足で運命を切り開くんだ。それが眩しくて羨ましくて、お嬢様と一緒にならこんなみすぼらしい自分じゃない別な本当の自分を見つけられそうな気がして。
お嬢様の告
Yeah,
白
you're
を
just kind of one
拒
big
絶して
walking inferiority complex, ain't you, bud?
悲しかった。
悲しかった。自分につく嘘がこんなにも辛くて悔しくて悲しいなんて知らなかった。そして僕のそんな嘘がお嬢様を傷つけたのがたまらなく許せなかった。そんな自分にもう二度と恋をする
I'm
資格
sure
な
she'll
んてない
forgive と
思
you.
ってた。
She knows you're fucking such a little mopey, brooding edge boy.
あるよ。恋の資格はね、自分だけが与えられるの。
It's part of the appeal.
家具だからダメとかそんなの関係ない。ダメだって自分で決めたらもうダメなの。決めつけちゃダメ。だから私は与えたよ。この身の程知らずな家具の身に恋の資格を。だからカノン君にだってあるよ。
恋をする資格が。
うん。あなたにあげられないなら私があげる。
ありがとう。僕はやっと海が見られる気がする。
Is it blue?
きっとジョージ様は今夜私に求婚すると思う。求婚を私は受けてこの島を出てジョージ様と新しい天地
Hell yeah, marrying the money.
新しい生活をするつもり。
You might have a bitch of a mother-in-law, but hey,
それが姉さんの選んだ道だというなら
some sacrifices are needed.
僕に何も言えるわけがない。
この島を出て、そしてこの島へは二度と帰らない。
Well, except for maybe like the future family conferences. Those are still a thing once Kinzo kicks the bucket.
カノン君とは
Well,
お別れになる。
once his death comes to light, I should say.
そうだね。僕たちはお別れだね。
もしカノン君が心の底からお嬢様を愛していて、それが私のジョージさんへの思いと同じか、私はあなたと決着をつけなきゃならない。
Settle what?
姉さん。
それがお互いのため、カノン君の思いを、私を理由に諦めない
Okay,
で。
that's what I mean.
僕のわがままが姉さんの幸せを傷つけるかもしれないのに。
私も自覚してるよ。私の幸せがカノン君を傷つけることを。
We have no choice but to hurt each other. As she said this, Shannon turned her back to Kanon. As Kanon watched Shannon from behind, he was struck by her strength and the sisterly love she showed in still thinking of him despite everything.
姉
A
さ
lot
ん、
of S's in that sentence.
僕は姉さんと一緒で幸せだったよ。
私もだよ。君がいてくれたから今日まで頑張れた。
Man, Battler really writes some fucking sappy stories, doesn't he?
だからジョージさんとも出会えた。
僕も姉さんが教えてくれたから。
私は自分の思いを曲げない。その気持ちだけを見つめて、他を無視して、カノン君の心を踏みにじることから目。
僕も姉さんを理由に自分の気持ちを。
私の恋が実っても
That was fucking bad. Huh. Either like a big truck was going by down the street or someone was like revving a motorcycle at 6 in the morning.
君の恋が実っても私たちは互いを祝福しよう。
約束する。そして僕が勝ったらお嬢様を愛し、姉さんも大切にする。
ありがとう。でも私が勝ったら君と島を忘れてここを永遠に出ていく。
Thumbs the brakes.
勝ったら自分の恋に全力を。
I mean, I don't know why you're making it seem like you'll be going away forever. Like, you'll still be in the same like family, just like not seeing each other every day.
たとえそれが報われない恋だと知っていても。
You're kind of blowing it a little bit out of proportion, guys.
私たちは
家具じゃ
ない。
Flashbang, thanks. The boat carrying the relatives docked at Rokinjima Harbor. They left the boat one by one, making fun of Battler. Goto wasn't the only one to greet them. Kanon was there too. And now he won't have to embarrass himself by not being able to pick up a bag of fertilizer on his own.
長旅お疲れ様でした。六軒島へようこそ。
そうそう、お嬢。
Goto complimented Kanon in a whisper. Kanon ignored this, looking just a little sour, and continued to greet the incoming relatives.
バトラ君はゴーダさんもカノン君も初めてだよね。
マリアもバトラ初めて。
It's not.
ゴーダさんは凄腕のシェフでいらっしゃるんだぜ。
But, you know, the first time you actually remember, and will remember, it's like how, like, your consciousness just, like, starts when you're, like, 4. Like, I can remember back until about that. Like, 3, I think, is, like, my earliest memories, where it's just, like, vague, random bullshit. Where it's like, I don't even know why this is in my brain, but it's been there for so long, it's just, you know, cemented itself. but when you meet people before that, like you fucking go to a family function, like your great aunt is there. She's like, oh, we met you when you were just born, and it's like, cool. I've never fucking seen you in over 20-something years, lady. Hi.
この島に来る唯一の楽しみさ。
光栄でご
I'm
ざ
sure
い
the
ます。
fishing at this island is nice.
バトラー様、どうか滞在中のお食事はご期待いただければ幸いです。
そりゃ楽しみだぜ。よろしく。
カノン君もお久しぶりね。今日は元気そうね。よかった。
そうでしょうか。
そうね。
Yeah, you're being a little bit
顔色が悪くないわ。
less prissy than you normally are.
血色がいいというか、目つきが凛々しくなったというか。
成長期なんだろ。
Yeah, a man's coming into his own a little bit.
そうして少年は大人になってくんだな。
普段のあんたは今にも貧血で倒れちゃいそうな顔ばっかしてるのに、今日は少し違うわ。
He could do with a little bit more meat on his bones, though.
正気がある。
He's a real fucking spindly kid.
男子は3日あれや成長するもんなんやで。カノン君も少しずつたくましくなってるっちゅうことやな。
からかわれてないわよ。みんな褒めてるのよ。
Kanon had sworn that starting today, he would start changing the way he lived bit by bit. However, he had only meant to change within himself, and hadn't expected that it would show on the outside. He was a bit shocked to hear that his expression had changed so much, that people had apparently noticed as soon as he opened his mouth. No. Maybe the real surprise should have been that his normal expression looked so incredibly sullen in comparison. Kodo led the way up to the guest house. Kanon brought up the rear, helping to carry some of Kumasawa's shopping.
僕、今日はそんなにも顔色がいいでしょうか。
私にもそう見えますよ。何かいいことありました？
Even Kumasawa was saying it. Kanon, unable to see what his own face looked like, hung his head in embarrassment. When they reached the rose garden, they could see the others entering the guest house. Then, he saw Jessica running towards him from there. Is even Milady Jessica gonna say that I'm in a good mood today? Kanon hung his head even deeper. And so, almost as though he couldn't control himself, Kanon spoke first. Seize the initiative. Get the momentum.
僕はそんなにも違うんですか？
ほら、カノン君ってさ、積極的に挨拶とかする性分じゃないでしょ。だからみんな珍しいと思ったんじゃないかな。
先ほどは
Damn, sounds like me whenever my family and friends over when I was a kid. Like, I'd be like, alright, yeah, cool, I'm just gonna go hide in my room and play like fucking Shadow of the Colossus or something. I'll come down for like food, maybe. Like a rare endangered creature.
あ、いいよいいよ。こっちこそ新島まで迎えに行くから付き合ってなんてくだらないことに誘ってごめん。カノン君だって今日の仕事いっぱいあるだろうし。
Not particularly.
仕事は特にありませんでした。お嬢様が眩しすぎて一緒にいることに耐えられないほど。
Being real open with everyone else here.
僕が弱かったからです。
Jessica faltered, uncertain what Kanon was talking about. However, she realized that this was something too important to be laughed off.
何かあったの？
Apparently wearing his heart on his sleeve.
シャノンが結婚するって。
そっか。やっぱりジョージ兄さん、今回でプロポーズするんだね。
Jessica thought that this change in Kanon's appearance was probably caused by a change in his state of mind. She thought he was sad that he and Shannon would be parting ways. Kanon realized that Jessica was probably thinking this, so he spoke to her clearly and honestly, because he wanted her to know.
僕は姉さんがここを辞めることがあった時、自分も辞めると決めていました。
知ってるよ。じゃあカノン君も辞めちゃうの？
今はわからなくな
Yeah,
り
he's
ま
not
した。
putting in his official 2 weeks notice yet.
辞めたらお嬢様という太陽が照らしてくれた何かを また見失ってしまいそうだから。
Jessica was stunned, unable to understand what he was saying. However, she did realize that he was trying to tell her something important. And so, she was able to accept that his next words were neither a lie nor a joke.
僕はジェシカお嬢様のことが好きです。
私もだよ。
あなたの太陽のごとく生き方を僕も一緒に歩んでみたい。あなたとなら家具と蔑んだ自分から決別できるかもしれない気がする。
カノン君は家具じゃない。そして使用人になるために生まれてきたのでもない。年頃の男の子としてもっともっと人生を楽しんでいいはずなんだよ。
Yeah, like, get a fucking hobby.
私も
Like, what do you even do for fun? Well, like, I guess Kanon doesn't have fun. That's not his thing.
カノン君が眩しくて目が見られない。
これが偽らざる僕の気持ちです。
What's that little... There's a little drum tap in the background, like someone's hitting a tin can.
それを今までごまかしてきて、僕の臆病さがお嬢様を傷つけたあの日を。
It's fine.
いいよ。その言葉だけで。
You're just a dumb kid. Didn't know any better.
だから僕はお嬢様といつまでも一緒にいるために。
I mean, who hasn't made, you know, a couple of girls cry in their younger days by not handling things so great?
僕にそのための時間をください。最後にその弱さを許してください。
弱さなんてとんでもない。
Yeah, except his body strength.
カノン君は見せてくれたよ。今までの自分と決別したいっていうとびきりの勇気を。
Like, the bag of fertilizer probably wasn't too heavy. It was probably like maybe 40 pounds at most.
だから私は応援したいし、せかさずいつまでも待つよ。私が太陽になって君の道を照らせるなら、私だって君という人がいてくれたから誰よりも眩しく輝いて君の瞳に私だけを映したいと思った。君がいなかったら私だって太陽になんてなれなかった。
So, we're really knocking all this out in the beginning, huh?
待つよ。
Gotta be making room for, you know, some real packed events later in the story, then.
ありがとう、お嬢様。
To get a little meta with the narrative.
お嬢様はもう嫌だな。
名前で呼んでもいいんですか？
うん。二人っきりの時だけね。
Yeah, not till you'll fucking rip your head off.
じゃないとその
If you just start calling her Jessica in
迷
front of
惑を
everyone.
かけるかもしれないし。
そうですね。姉さんたちもそうしてるらしいし。
シャノンが婚約するって話にならなかったら、こういうことは言ってくれなかった？
Probably not. Kanon hung his head, at a loss for words for some time. But it was true. If Shannon hadn't told him about the engagement, probably wouldn't have been having this conversation at this moment.
はい。だからこそ真剣に考えることができました。
そんなこと言っちゃって、シャノンの話を聞いてて恋がしてみたくなっちゃった？
はい。
Yeah, I may get a little jealous.
素直だな。まあ私もシャノンたちを見てて羨ましいなと思って。
In truth, the real reason was different for both of them. They had been shown the courage that was needed to confess to the one they loved. This was the reason for both Kanon and Jessica.
僕は何とお呼びすれば？
ジェシカがいいな。
呼びつけは照れます。
Just hit her with the Jessie and, you know, really throw her for a loop.
じゃ、さん付けでもいいから最初は言ってみて。ほらほら。
ジェシカさん。
うん。今はそれでいい。だから
Baby steps, baby steps.
カノン君のことを名前で呼びたい。カノンじゃなくて本当の名前があるんでしょ。きっと れた名前だと思うな。なんだろう。
ヨシアと
Oh,
言います。
just down with it real quick.
と
Those look like some complicated kanji. Jessica tried tracing out various characters in the palm of her hand. Then, Kanon used his own fingers to write out his name on her
これ
hand.
でヨシアと読
Fucking
みます。
smooth.
ヨシアくんか。いい名前だね。私の変な名前と違って素敵だと思うよ。
I mean, Jessica by itself is a fine name. It's just the like weird fucking mashed together kanji that somehow produced Jessica is ugh.
そんなことありません。お嬢様のジェシカって名前だって。
それもう一回言って。
It's certainly creative.
お嬢様のジェシカって。
もう一回。
お嬢様のジェシカって名前だって。その
You said it without the honorific so naturally.
なんでもないよ。ありがとう。ヨシア。
Name's kind of boring there, Kanon, huh? The red flowers of the rose garden seemed to celebrate the two lovers whose feelings had finally connected. The scene was watched by one nut human who gazed out quietly from beneath the rose garden arbor. Come to think of it, those two had never called each other by their names until now. Jessica hadn't known Kanon's true name. Kanon hadn't called Jessica by her name. By calling someone by their name, people acknowledge the worth of that person's soul. That is why names are sacred. Receiving permission to speak one means that your soul has been
だ
acknowledged.
からお父様は名前を呼んでほしいと。
Sure, let's go with that. No, that's probably wrong. When Father sees me, it reminds him of that other me, the past me. And I'm sure that me called Father by his name. However, that probably doesn't mean Father would be happy to hear me call him by his name. After all, I am me, not the Beatrice my father knows well. What can I do to help Father? How can I be useful to him? It's the only reason I was born. Hanging her head, Beatrice sat all alone in the Goldenlands arbor that was next to the rose garden. The scene was watched by the Witch of Theater-going and her Miko as they sat across from each other.
かわいそうな子ね。
Yep, keep moving up the layers of that narrative onion.
そなたがベアトに同情するとは思わなかった。
Well, this Beatrice is different.
このベアトをかつてのベアトと同一人物と呼ぶのは
This one hasn't done
酷な話
anything
だわ。
wrong.
これは全くの別人じゃない。
It may be that, by the rules, this Beato is the Beato. However, saying that would be horribly unfair to her.
かつての公的
Sins
史
of
を
the
蘇
father and all
らせ
that.
てこれではバトラも気がめいろうというもの。お兄ちゃんの絶望も少しはわかる。でもこの子の気持ちもわかるの。人は決して誰かの身代わりにはなれない。それがたとえかつての自分であってもね。
Compared to the young boy and girl who had found new versions of themselves and called each other by their true names, this witch looked very feeble. The witch knew that she was an illusion created in the image of the person she once was. And she also knew that it would only hurt Balor to try and pretend to be that person.
それでもこのベアトはバトラの役に立ちたいと思っている。けなげな話だ。それがベアトリーチェという魔女の意味なの。彼女はそうだと自称している。自分はバトラの役に立つために生まれてきたと。お兄ちゃんのために生まれてきたベアトがやがては連続殺人を犯し、お兄ちゃんに永遠の拷問と称しておかしなゲームに引きずり込む。意味わかんないわ。
Yeah, we're kind of putting the sequence of events out of order.
1000年を経れば人は別人にもなり得るとそなたも理解しているはず。
That one's easy to imagine. At the very least, Beatrice was once a pure creature who was born for Battler's sake. It's also very clear that commas, weird, flow of the sentence, my brain just stopped working. It is also very clear that, in her current feeble state, she does not possess any of the courage or the motivation needed to bring about those horrifying serial murders. If so, that means the sinister witch we all know must have changed during the 1,000 years since her birth.
1000年とか偉そうな単語がよく出てくるけど、魔女の世界ではどうも
Yeah,
長い月日を示す別称として使われてる気がするわ。
not like an actual 1,000 years.
神の世界に近づけば近づくほどに時間の概念は曖昧になる。6年も1000年となるし、1000年がほんの一眠りにもなる。ほんの2週間の月日でさえも100年の魔女を名乗るにふさわしい永遠となり得るのだ。
In other words, the pure Beato transformed into the cruel Beato. During those 6 years that could be called 1,000. So, does this mean something bad happened during those 6 years that made her hate Oni-chan?
納得いかないわ。その6年間、お兄ちゃんは六軒島は愚か、後ろ宮家の席から抜けてさえいるのよ。その変化にお兄ちゃんは何の関係もない。
That's...
全くの逆恨みだわ。
You think him being away for so long might be part of the problem?
おや、こちらにおいででしたか。お紅茶でもお入れしましょうか。
熊沢さん、知りたいことがあります。
はいはい、何でしょうか。
私はベアトリーチェという名前なんですよね。
そうですとも。お嬢様はベアトリーチェ様でございますとも。
でもお父様が口にするベアトリーチェという人物は私のことではありません。
それは
It's complicated.
お父様は私にその人であってほしかったように思います。だから私がその人にどれほど似ていても
Look, Battler's going through it right now. He's a little bit confused.
失望されたのではないで
I
しょ
don't
う
even think he knows what he wants at the moment.
そんなことはございませんよ。お嬢様はお嬢様、ベアトリーチェ様ご自身ですとも。新しくお生まれ変わりになるとき、以前の記憶を失ってしまっただけでございますよ。たとえ記憶をなくされようとも、お嬢様はベアトリーチェ様。
But without those memories, is it even still
親
her?
方様の愛されるお
Let's
方
get
と
fucking metaphysical
同
with
一人物でございますとも。
その記憶というのはどうやれば取り戻すことができますか。
それは。
Beato looked at Kumasawa with hopeful eyes, as though praying she would tell her the way. Kumasawa averted her gaze unhelpfully, as though trying to say that she would if only such a way existed.
取り戻すことができないなら、せめて
My jaw's kind of
お
tight
父
today. I
様
wonder
の
if I
愛した
slept
ベアト
weird.
リーチェが
Or like if
ど
I
の
got
よう
like
な人
fucking
物だった
tetanus or
か
something.
を教えてください。
Just like chewed on some rusty nails. I don't remember it.
それならお話はできますけれど。
私はお父様のために生まれてきました。だからお父様の望む黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェになりたいんです。
ベアトリーチェ様。
私に魔法は使えません。でもお父様の望む魔女が使えるなら、それを私はお父様の望む魔女になります。
Sure, let's get you Hogwarts Legacy.
それがお父
You
様
can
に産んで
you
も
can
らったこ
start
とへ
your
の
your journey as
私
a
が
witch
示せ
there.
る唯一のご恩返しです。
けなげじゃない。1000年を間違えなきゃ最高にいい子だわ。魔女のヒナ、なかなか面白きかな。気に入ったぞヘンチェ。そのヒナの娘に我が諸子を許すがいい。魔女の世界へ帰る扉を開いてやるがよかろうぞ。 彼女
Yeah,
自
throw her a
身に
bone.
かつての彼女の物語を朗読させようというわけね。なるほど。私も知りたいわ。黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェを作る物語。
いいでしょう。あなたが望むならば扉を再び開きましょう。
熊沢さん。
A spray of gold welled up around them. It was a cloud of gold butterflies. With a golden flash, the form of the old lady transformed into that of a witch in a dress.
あなたの進むべき道はあなたが決めなさい。それはおそらくバラの道。美しく咲き誇ったバラがあなたを祝福するかもしれないし、そのトゲであなたを苛むかもしれない。しかしそれでもあなたがいつかたどった道、その結果同じ1000年を経てもいい。
How fun.
異なる1000年を経てもいい。望むなら道を引き返してもいい。
進みます。私はこの庭で1000年お茶を飲んでいるだけで過ごしたく
You
な
know,
いんで
sounds
す。
pretty comfy.
お父様のためにこのベアトリーチェは生まれてきました。だからお父様のために生きようと思います。教えてください、黄金の魔女。
The great witch spread her arms, communicating Beatrice's unbending determination to the brilliant heavens. At that moment, a brilliant light covered the two of them, and before they knew it, they were in a strange study. There sat the great old witch who was the master of those archives, along with her Miko. Virgilia gave a deep and elegant bow.
拝謁、至極光栄に存じます。
Just plucked them right out of the story and brought them up, huh?
尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女、フェザリーヌ・アウグストゥス・アウローラ卿。
表を上げよ、人の子よ。その娘にしばしの間我が諸子を自由に閲覧する資格を与えようぞ。我が巫女エンジェ、その方に世話を命ず。はいはい、お任せを、我が主。素直にそなたの物語が見たいと言えばいいのに。
感激の魔女の巫女よ、ベアトリーチェをお預けします。
Sure, that's the best idea.
よろしくお願いします。
I know new people, how scary.
あんたのなろうとしているベアトリーチェは彼女なりに何かを苦しんでいたわ。少なくとも今のあなたはその何かから解き放たれている。自らその枷を取り戻すために旅に出るの。
はい、私は黄金の魔女になりたいんです。
Now to triple, double, quadruple check. You sure?
それが私の生まれてきた理由です。
彼女の煉獄を巡る旅が快適であるよう、そして保護が与えられるよう、無限と有限の魔女プブリウス・ワルギリア・マロの名において要請します。
感激の魔女の巫女にして無限の魔女、反言の魔女見習い、エンジェ・ベアトリーチェの名において
Lots of
了承
titles
する者なり
being
や
thrown
と
around.
立てまつったり踏んだり蹴ったり。
Featherine snorted.
あなたもベアトリーチェという名を？
It's complicated.
ええ、あなたのことはよく知ってるわ。
教えてください。私がどんな私だったのか。
You're kind of a bitch.
ええ、だから教えて。あなたがどうしてあなたになったのか。
この書庫にはこれまでのそなたのゲームの物語のかけらがすべて書物として収められてい
You
る。
have to actually read them.
それを読むことでそなたはこれまで何があったかの
They're gonna be
す
here
べ
for
てを
hours.
知ることができるだろう。 それを読めば
I'm scared to look at
私は
my
黄金の魔女
my
になれます
Umineko
か？
playlist and see how long it is in the hour count by this point.
黄金の魔女を継承するには黄金の碑文を解かねばならぬ。そしてその試練はたとえベアトリーチェ本人だとしても免れることは許
Gotta
され
find the
ぬ。
gold.
頑張ります。ですから私に書庫の本を読ませてください。
本当にけなげだわ。わざわざあんなのになんで戻りたがるんだか。
その私がどんな自分だかは知りません。でも
You might not like
そ
what
の
you
自分
find.
がお父様のお役に立てるなら私はそれになりたいです。
Anjay sighed resignedly. Resignedly? Okay. I think I missed a syllable in there. She had no words with which to stop this girl from following her noble sense of purpose. After all, Anjay was the Miko of the Witch of Theater Going. She could do nothing except watch over the stage. Yes, they weren't actually interfering with the play. This was just a bit of directing, to shine the spotlight onto the tale of Beato's past. Even this was nothing more than the Witch of Theater Going watching a play.
読めばそなた
You're
は
just a stagehand.
かつてのベアトリーチェがどのような人物だったかを知るだろう。しかしそこから何を得られるかはそなたが決めるがよい。書庫にとどまるも自由、立ち去るも自由、再び戻ることさえも自由だ。その対価として私はそなたを感激する。
感激。
Don't think too hard about it.
要するに好きにしていいって意味よ。
ありがとうございます。青草。
It's not that hard.
フェザリーヌって呼ぶと喜ぶわよ。
ありがとうございます。フェザリーヌ様。
After being welcomed in by Featherine, Beato set out on a journey to discover herself. She went on a gap year hiking trip in Thailand or something. That tale connected the old tale with the new one. It wove them together. The 1,000-year-old tale the 1,000-year-old tale about her return to its starting point, becoming a snake eating its own tail. The ring of that snake began slowly, bit by bit, to turn into the shape of a small island floating on the sea. That island was Rokenjima. The 1,000 years of the witch born on this island were tied to the island. Was it 1,000 years, or just 6? Or did this tale start even further back into the past? Beatrice went out on a journey to find herself. Spooky. The wind had been strengthening since a while back. The breaking waves had grown fierce. The ferry boats probably wouldn't be coming for a while now. The crashing thunder told that the island had been sealed off from the outside world. A thick rain poured down, mocking the fools outdoors who had to rush pathetically to find shelter. No longer would anyone be able to leave this island, and no longer would anyone be able to reach this island. No one, unless blessed with a miracle. There was another flash of lightning. The retinas of all who saw it were filled with white. As that white faded away, an eerie silhouette pulled itself up at the raging water's edge. As though suddenly remembering, it coughed violently several times, filthily spitting out the seawater that had filled its stomach. And then, tearing apart the velcro of her life jacket, she cast off the reason she had been able to float here without so much as a thank you. Elegant as always, Erica.
いつも
ての艦隊実にグッドです。さあ楽しませてもらいますよ、バトラさん。
The game do be afoot. And it's cut. Alright, and I'm back. Those 2 pots of coffee and the beer I had with my breakfast were really putting its toll on me. I should probably read the lines before I actually hit enter and just skip through them all. The news about the drifter, Furuto Erika, quickly spread across Rokkenjima. Erika was politely entertained, and it was decided that she'd be treated as a guest until the typhoon passed. In the dining hall, Goto's wonderful dinner had ended, and everyone was relaxing and enjoying some after-dinner coffee and cheese. Apparently, Battler was a bit relieved that Erika had come and turned into a good scapegoat. He drove away some of the attention he'd been getting piled on him for finally coming back after 6 years. Don't really see cheese going with coffee, but I guess if you have like a lot of like cream and sugar in your coffee, you can kind of have like oh, what was the really good kind of cheese I had before? It was like one of those kind of like creamy goat cheeses with like blueberries in it. Real fucking good on crackers. I can see that going with some coffee. But like, she's like, yeah, here's bite into this block of cheddar and have some black coffee. Honestly, sounds like one of my breakfasts. In fact, she turned out to be very talkative. When the conversation turned into a sophisticated discussion of the mystery genre, even the adults were drawn in. She was apparently so well versed that even Nanjo, with a vast knowledge of the subject, was impressed.
確かにな。嵐の孤島に洋館に不気味な一族。
Yeah, it's the perfect setting.
そこに雨宿りの探偵とくりゃ、もうお膳立てが揃ったも同然だぜ。
ご安心を。どんな難事件であっても解決してお見せしますので、それが探偵の務めです。
She says, looking directly at the camera that Battler is standing behind.
むしろ何か怪事件が起こってほしいものだね。
A mundane incident, though.
犠牲者役はごめん被るが。
Like one of those children's detective novels kind of things where it's like, you know, no one gets hurt. It's like, whatever happened to that thing I put down? Now it's gone. Ooh. And then it's something mundane like the dog or the cat hidden under the couch.
あなた、不謹慎です。
まあ、人間のミステリーの歴史なんてほんの100年足らず。そのトリックもアイデアもほんの数種の焼き直しですでに描くべきことなどありません。いかなる不可能犯罪、密室殺人が起ころうとも、すでに類型化されているどれかのトリックを形を変えただけに過ぎないのですから。
Again, she says, looking directly at the camera.
まあ、それでもミステリーが読み物として現代でも通用するのは、古典もろくすっぽ読まない付け焼き場の自称マニアが自分の不勉強ゆえに知らない古典トリックをさも新鮮であるかのように勘違いして大騒ぎしてるだけなんですが。
Everyone couldn't help but gape at this imposing claim. If the aged critic had said it, that would have been one thing. But it showed incredible boldness for a young person like her to state that so strongly.
ミステリーなんてもう半世紀も前に終わったジャンルなんです。私に言わせればですが。でも不勉強なバカばっかりのおかげで私は探偵面ができるというわけです。
それを言ったら
It's not even a matter of, can you teach an old dog new tricks? It's more, there were no tricks left to be taught to the old dog.
恋愛なんてシェイクスピアの時代に完成されてて以後は読む価値もないってことになるぜ。
そうですね。じゃあロミオとジュリエットさえ読んどけば恋愛なんてもう理解できたも同然ってことじゃないんですか。
Let's not go off that.
そんなわけねえさ。本は読んだ数を競うものでもねえが、さりとて これで十分だと威張るもんでもね。過去の古典の話ばかりで新書を読まねえのは、いわゆる悪しき解雇主義じゃねえのか。
It's good to have a strong foundation, but you have to actually build something on it.
それこそ読書をサボる年寄りどもの言い訳だと思うぜ。
そうですね。私もバトラさん程度には本を読まないと言いまかされちゃいそうです。
俺本なんか読まねえし。
Again, we've been over this. Battler's definition of, oh yeah, I read as a hobby is quite different than the normal person's. Battler chuckled, but Erica knew from the previous game that Battler was actually quite an avid reader. So his words felt more like a challenge. More
そ
of
ん
a
なにも推理
challenge.
自慢ならクイズとかパズルとかは得意そうだね。
ああ、マリアさ、ほら、クイズとかの本持ってなかったっけ？
Picking up that Erica's arrogant statement had made the atmosphere a little tense, George smoothly changed the subject. By now, it was more than clear that she wasn't the charming guest she had appeared to be. Maria pulled a book out of her bag that had quizzes and puzzles written in it and started posing them to everyone. It might have looked as though it would become a peaceful quiz party, but of course, that wasn't what happened. In credit to all her big talking, Erica managed an impressive ratio of correct and immediate answers. Erica took complete control. Her bragging began to escalate more and more. George slightly regretted the choice that he had made when changing the subject. Yeah, he just tossed wood onto the fire. The question, how many matches would you need for a tournament of 107 teams, was answered instantly by Erica.
これは問題というより知識です。参加チームから1を引いた数が必要な試合数という公式がありますので、
Didn't know that.
まあ例題の4チームなら3試合、8チームなら7試合という数字を見た時点で法則性に気づいて当
Yeah, but it
然で
makes
すが。
sense.
エリカすごい。
エリカお姉ちゃんでしょ。言ってごらん。
エリカお姉ちゃんすごい。
大したもんだな。なるほどな。実
Oh,
証探
fucking
偵は
Jeopardy
だけ
champ
じゃ
right
ねえ
here.
ってわけだ。
まあ探偵を気取るつもりならこの程度は。
すごいね。きっと将来は本物の探偵になれると思うよ。
まあもうそのつもりですが。
The cousins all thought about the answers to the questions, but Erica always answered first. Rosa thought it was a bit rude for Erica to say the answer out loud while people were thinking, instead of keeping them to herself, but since Erica was a guest, Rosa decided against mentioning it. In truth, Erica was perfectly aware of this when she answered the questions instantly. Each time, she would grin broadly, as though saying, "Is it really taking you all this long to solve such an easy problem?"
エリカちゃんは名探偵さんなんだから、あまり本気にならなくてもいいんじゃない？
そうですね。
But you don't get it, Kyrie. Competitions are meant to be
子
won.
供向けの問題なのにムキになってしまいました。気をつけますので次の問題をお願いします。
It's like when I play Uno with my nieces and nephews. Like, I'm pretty fucking good at Uno. When I was in the honor guard, you know, there were days when it's like, well, there's no ceremonies booked. We've done all our training. All right, time to just play board games and card games for the rest of the day. So, you know, not uncommon for us to play Uno for like 7 hours straight.
よーし、今度は負
Real
けねえ
fucking
ぞ。
good at with, you know, almost like card counting with Uno.
マリア、次の問題を頼む。
Thinking like fucking 20 steps ahead.
大きなチーズが1個あります。
Okay.
それをナイフで1回切り分けると2つになります。
Uh-huh.
では8個に切り分けるには 最低何回切ればいいでしょう。
あ、僕はこれ知ってるよ。だから黙ってよっかな。
George, acting like the adult he was, set up a mood that would prevent people from answering right away even if they knew the answer, in effect sending a warning to Erica. It seemed that Erica understood, and she averted her gaze, snorting derisively.
8個なら4回で切り分ければよいのでは？バカね。それが答えだったら問題にならないじゃない。
It's like, do they have to be even slices, or can I like stack the, slice it in half, then put the other half on, and then slice it again, so that way I save a slice?
そういうことだな。こういうのは想定の回数より少なくできるものと相場が決まっている。しかしどうすればいいやら。
ああ、わかったわかった。こりゃチーズだからできることだな。
そうね。
What do you mean?
バースデーケーキでこれをやったら大喧嘩になるわね。
そやな。チーズならともかくケーキを切るにはその切り方じゃあかんな。
みんな答え分かってんのかよ。くそ、分かんねえの俺だけかよ。
あー、わかったぜ。なるほどね。
Yeah.
3次元で考えなきゃダメなんだ。
うわ、ジェシカまでわかんねえ。どうすりゃいいんだ。
Of course you do. It's your fucking book. You've probably been over all these puzzles.
ここに書いてあるもん。
ほら、マリアだって答え見るまでわからなかったでしょ。
Yeah.
わかる？バトラ君。
なるほど。私にもわかりました。これはチーズだからこそできることですな。
南條先生まで分かっちゃったのかよ。
What is it? Three? One slice to cut it in half, take one block, put it in the other, cut it in half again. That gets us 4. And then, do that one more time.
ひょっとして俺だけが分かってない？
バトラさんの頭も少し火を通せば。
Or you could probably do it too, like if we didn't go straight slices and made like say the first one like a curvy line and kind of carved it, so that way you do one cut down the middle or whatever, and you hit a bunch of different lines and get it to go 8 pieces right away.
ナイフは0回で手でちぎれるとかそういう答えじゃないんだろ？
なわけ
That's a
ねえ
little
ぜ。
too outside the box.
ナイフ以外では切れないチーズってことで。
チーズを立体的に想像するんだよ。難しいなら紙ナプキンの裏に絵を描いてみるのもいいかもね。
大きなチーズが1個あるんだろう。それをナイフで8つに。ナイフは直線じゃなきゃ切っちゃダメ？
そうよ。
Okay.
ナイフは直線に切るだけ。
So can't go with that second option.
でもヒントね。切り方は直線にじゃなきゃダメだけど、どこを切るかは自由なのよ。
どうやってナイフを入れればいいか、いろいろ想像してみろ。
少々ひねくれたやり方を想像した方がいいだろうな。バトラ君のお手並みを拝見だ。
Man, and now the pressure's on. You have a large piece of cheese. How many times must you cut it with a knife to make 8 pieces? It's obvious that you can do it in 4 cuts. Can it be done even fewer cuts than that? The hint said that it was something that could be done because it was cheese. If it was a birthday cake, you really wouldn't be allowed to do this.
チーズだからできる技？分かったすっかり騙されたぜ。頭が硬えとダメだな。
Alright.
ようやくひらめいたようですね。
It was with it. Tell me how wrong I am.
それが正解だといいのですが。
And
チ
how
ーズは
stupid I look.
ナイフ以外では切れないんだよな。ナイフは直線だけで切るんだよな。それ以外に何も条件はないよな。なあ。
ど にない。
よっしゃ、間違いない。くー、ひでえ問題だぜ。これはまるで謎々だ。
上から切るばかりが脳じゃないってことだぜ。上から2回切って4分割。その状態で側面から切れば上段と下段に分かれて4分割が倍の8分割。
立体で考えないと出せない答えだね。つまり
I was kind of right.
正解は3回さ。
I was just doing all, vertical slices, but, if you cut horizontal, that you can take out the step of stacking one block on the other.
そうなのか？俺、1回だと思ってたけど。
そらどんな魔法や。いくらなんでも1回は無理や。
I mean, you can also, never stop the slice, so to say, and just keep moving the block in front of the knife as you're drawing it.
これは謎々じゃなくて普通に算数的な問題よ。
おお、そうなのか。
So, what were you thinking about?
3回ってのはすぐに思いついたんだが、それじゃ簡単すぎて問題にならないと思ってひねりすぎたか。
バトラの答えの方が5分の答えより少ない。バトラが正解？
I don't know.
ええ、そうです。バトラさんが正解です。正解は1回です。
Battler was happy that someone had confirmed his answer. However, at some point, Erica's face had lost its
私
cheeriness.
以外に1回と答えられる人間がいて、それがよりにもよって
エリカも答えは1回なのかよ。どうやらお前も相当ひねくれてるみたいだな。
1個のチーズと聞いて、その形状を決めつけるのは実に愚かしいことですね。
Most people either think of a block or a wheel.
できるわけないわ。お兄ちゃんの勘違いでしょ。3回未満でどうやって8等分するのよ。
愚かしや人の子よ。8つに分けろとは言っているが、等分にしろとは問うていない。
それにしたって不可能でしょ。ナイフ以外の方法で切るの？
ナイフ以外では切れない。ナイフは直線に切らねばならないと条件がある。しかし逆に言えばそれ以外に条件はない。いや、そもそもチーズの形さえも示されてはいない。
そうか。みんなは大きなチーズが1個って聞いて、カマンベールみたいな平べったい円筒状のものを想像してたのか。俺は朝食のトーストの上に乗せるスライスチーズを想像していたぜ。
You're putting fucking craft singles on your fucking your toast? Okay, so fold it over like it's a piece of paper, and then one cut and you get a bunch.
ナイフで切り分けるような立派なチーズとは普段縁がねえからよ。
チーズの形状に条件は示されませんでした。出題者のミスです。おそらくマリアさんのその本には、いわゆる平べったい円筒状チーズの図面があるはずです。ある。ほら。
As Erica had guessed, the book Maria held had an illustration of a piece of cheese, just as Erica had described it. With cheese of this shape, 3 slices really would be the correct answer. You cut in an X pattern from the top, making it 4 pieces. Then you cut from the side to double that and make 8 pieces. However, since this illustration hadn't been shown, the interpretation of the cheese had been left to the answerer.
確かにそうね。出題の時点でチーズの形状やその柔らかさなどには触れられていなかったわ。
そういうことです。どうやらチーズも頭も柔らかかったのはバトラさんの方だったようです。
わけわかんねえさ。
It's really not hard to
スライス
understand.
チーズだったらどうしてナイフ1回で8個に分けられるんだよ。
You fold it over twice. Make it fold it in half, then half again, then you cut from the top. You would have 8, yeah, because it would be 4 layers. Yep.
お手元のペーパーナプキンで試してみたらどうですか？これを スライスチーズだと思って。
Jessica comes from a well-to-do household. They don't have fucking craft singles.
こうしてさ、蛇腹に折るわけさ。
Yeah.
何回折れば8個になるか
な。6回です。
Is it 6? To fold it accordion style, you alternate between upwards and downward folds. Once you've done this 6 times, it looks like the side of an accordion.
普通のチーズならこんなに折ったらそこでちぎれちまうところだが。
Yeah, but we're using like fucking physics textbook problem, like mythical cheese that has like no breakpoints and it isn't affected by wind resistance or gravity.
ナイフ以外じゃちぎれないことになってんだろ。
問題ありません。ナイフ以外では決して切れぬ魔法のチーズですから。
その畳んだのも真上からバサッと一刀両断にすりゃ。
確かに8分割だ。
ちょっと待てよ。これじゃ当分にはなってないぜ。
Nowhere did it say it needed to be.
8つに切り分けるとしか言ってません。当分は条件に含まれませんでした。まあ折り方を工夫すれば当分も可能ですが、お頭の固い皆さんには説明が混乱するので省きます。
I mean, that one wasn't too crazy, to be perfectly honest. For a while, everyone was stunned. Valor had reached a far better answer than the 3 by thinking of the problem as a riddle. Erica had already known both answers and had even spotted a mistake made by the book. The others could do nothing but stare at those two in surprise.
すごいわ。頭が硬かったのは私たちなの？
これは乾杯ですな。
私たちは3次元で考えたけれど、どうもバトラ君とエリカちゃんは次元がもう一つ上だったみたいね。
They were thinking of the time dimension of the cheese.
だいぶ魔女とのゲームで鍛えられたようじゃないですか。条件なき問題、すなわち赤き真実の外側はすべて観測者の自由自在。
Hey, keep up the kayfabe.
魔女の密室の感激を縫う基本中の基本。
何の話だ？小説か何かの引用か？
Let's go with that.
まあ、そういうことにしておきます。それにしてもどなたの脳みそもカチンコチンの石ころチーズってわけですね。
Without any signs of restraint, Erica looked at everyone and laughed sarcastically. Only Maria didn't notice the venom in that laugh as she happily turned to the next page.
じゃあ次の問題ね。3つのコップと6枚のコインがあります。
Okay.
3つのコップそれぞれにコインが1枚、2枚、3枚になるように分けてください。
You just put... You just take one coin and put it in your pocket and boom.
おいおい、そんなの簡単じゃねえかよ。最初のコップにコインを1枚、次のコップに2枚、最後のコップに3枚入れて出来上がりだぜ。ではそれを5枚のコインでもできるでしょうか。
また陳腐な問題が出てきましたね。まさか皆さん
Just put one cup in the other. You put... it's like a nesting doll. You put one coin down in the cup, then you take another cup with the 2 coins, put that on top of it. By now, Erica was gazing around with an unpleasant look, acting in a manner that was completely inappropriate both for a guest and for someone of her age. She was no longer a guest who would be staying until the storm passed. She had transformed into an annoying guest that wouldn't leave until the storm passed. Everyone thought this, but they were unable to say it aloud.
コインの問題っていうと、ほら、お箸の使い方がうまいかどうかは、コインをお箸でつかめるかどうかでわかるそうだね。
Oh yeah, you fucking love chopsticks.
お箸は世界で最も優雅な食器です。突き刺し、引きちぎって口に運ぶナイフとフォークなんて野蛮の極み。お箸こそが最高です。私の箸使いこそが芸術。
Jessica was about to say, isn't a chopstick just a stick? But stopped herself just in time. She realized that it was best to let George take control for now.
小銭あるけど、ちょっと僕と競争してみない？僕もお箸の持ち方には厳しいんだ。
そうやな。
It's like practicing by like you take some like beans and then you have to like pick them all up and put them in a cup.
確かにテーブルマナーは育ちが出てしまうものだ。エリカさんの持ち方もなかなかに良い。
Though I also never learned the proper way to use chopsticks. I just use them and I'm able to use them and that's fine. I think I use them pretty similar to how you're meant to, like for the proper chopstick etiquette technique. Do I have any pencils lying around? I have a pen, in the number 2 pencil. Let me just put them in my hands and see. Yeah, my grip's a little funny, but it's how you're supposed to do it. Oh, shit. Drop my pen.
俺の小銭も貸してやるぜ。枚数が多い方が面白いだろ。
ジェシカ、よく見て覚えなさい。
せいぜい。
Why, you think she doesn't already know?
よし、競争しよう。ここにある小銭をどれだけ多く自分のお皿に移せるか。
望むところです。
Please don't scratch up the nice china.
お箸。
You are so odd. This time, George had steered the conversation into a good direction. Everyone else understood, and they helped to egg on this chopstick fight and change the subject. They were fully aware by now that Erica was extremely proud of her intelligence, and apparently she had a bad habit of using that to look down on other people. She spun her chopsticks around her finger with the dexterity of a stage magician, staring at the coins scattered on the table like a dog waiting for permission to eat the food placed before him. I can only do 180 spins with my fingers. I can't do a full like 360 like where you spin it around one of your fingers and re-grab it. And if I tried to learn to do that, I would probably stab myself in the eye. The unsettling sound of the wind had now blended in with the sound of the rain, resembling the howl of some monstrous beast. Just when it seemed to be crying out sadly, it would suddenly turn into a roar and rattle the windows, striking up even more fear and unease within me. Light from the hallway poured in through the thin crack of the slightly open door, and it seemed to carry with it laughter that was warm and happy, but very distant. I'm sure everyone's in the dining hall or somewhere, having a good time. I want to go there as soon as I can. I'm sure my family will be there. I hate being all alone in a place like this. Dad. Mom. I stubbornly tried again and again to open the door, but the merciless chain just wouldn't let the door open any further than that crack. On the contrary, feeling this close to a way out just made me more impatient. Gulping and trying to ignore the fear lurking behind me, I quietly closed the door. The light coming out of the crack is just a trap. This is an iron shackle, trying to keep me locked in here for eternity by making me think that I'm just an inch away from getting out a door that will never actually open. I need to get out of this creepy room as soon as possible. When I closed the door, all that filled the room was the eerie sound of the wind and the rain. The way the wind picked up every now and then and shook the window frames felt like a monster in a cage shaking the bars. So scared of that monster, I couldn't help but divert my gaze from the windows. I gotta search. If I can't get out the door, I need to find another way out. Just to the side of the door was a closet. There was only enough space inside to hang overcoats. Of course, it didn't connect to anywhere outside the room. If this were hide and seek, it'd probably be fun to hide in there. However, inside this creepy room, it'd be no better than stepping into my own coffin. By going there, Maybe I won't be able to get out from the closet next. This nonsensical fear sent a massive shiver up my spine, and I closed the closet door in a hurry. There's one door left. When I opened it, there was the bath and the toilet. Of course, there was no exit. There weren't even any windows. If I turned the faucet, water would probably come out, then disappear down the drain and flow outside. But I couldn't get out that way. Unless I went into the bathtub with the stopper pulled out of the drain and smashed my flesh and bone to bits. I had the feeling that this was the only way out. So the black stopper in the bathtub drain looked extremely terrifying. I tried a lot of things, both mentally and physically, but there was no way of getting out through the bathroom. All that was left was the windows. The very view from the window is pitch black darkness. The fierce winds and rain were slamming against the glass. The darkness on the other side of the window may have been unsettling, but I didn't really care where I went, as long as I was outside this room. However, the window was clamped shut. Right down in the middle of the window, which was made to swing open like a set of double doors, were several ugly metal clamps. It was even more unnerving than the chain on the door, like a rough operation scar on some bizarre monster. The wind and rain slammed against and shook the window frame, making it creak loudly. However, unlike the door, this wouldn't open even a crack. I've had enough. Give it a rest already. What the hell's going on with this room? I've had enough of this creepy room. Enough. It's impossible to go outside except by the door and the windows. And compared to that thick door, the windows look like it might be possible to break. I'll smash it. If I swing a chair at it, the glass will probably break. Might even be able to smash the wooden grid dividing up the window. After I yawn, I'll keep reading. All I need to do is make make a gap large enough to slip out of. I grabbed a fancy-looking antique chair and headed back to the window. Is this like a battle scream or like a terrified scream? It was a battle yell. I smashed the chair against it. Over and over. The glass smashed with a violent sound, and the frame groaned and creaked. I hit it again, over and over. I can just break through this wooden frame. God damn it, what the hell? Even though all the glass has been smashed apart, even though the cold rain is blowing in and tormenting me, I can't get the frame to break. They aren't iron bars. It's just a delicate wooden mesh. It's fragile enough to make a creaking sound, so why wouldn't it break? No, wait. Maybe it's close to breaking. What if I try attacking it from a different angle instead of just smashing it head on? I stuck my left hand outside through one of the holes in the broken window, grabbed the frame from the front with my right hand, and tried to break it by shaking it around from both sides. My left hand started to grow ice cold from the frigid winds and rain. As I shook, fragments of glass sticking out from the broken frame poked into me and my wrist, and my wrist was soon stained with blood. But if I can just get out of here, this much pain is no big deal. But I can't get out. I'm stuck. It won't open. I can't break it. The more violently I shook the frame, the more the glass fragments tore into my left wrist, causing me intense pain. Wait, what's... Huh? Ow. Ow, 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 ow! Before I realized it, the glass fragments on the frame had grown longer and more spiky. It's as though an ugly beast was trying to chew my hand off with glass teeth. It's not my imagination. They actually are getting longer before my very eyes. They're chewing my hand to bits! I tried desperately to pull my hand out, but it had already dug deep into my wrist, and I couldn't move it. put all my strength into it, but it just hurt more and more, and the glass didn't even budge. What the hell? Damn it! Let go! Let go! Let go! With my right fist, I hit the glass over and over, attempting to break it. But that just hurt my right fist as well and did nothing to release my other hand. Just then, my left hand, which was stuck outside and exposed to the rain, brushed against something slimy. What? It couldn't have been a leaf blown by the wind or anything like that. I mean, it felt just like the touch of someone's rain-soaked hand. Then, it closed tightly around my left hand. When I felt the 5 fingers, I knew that some person out in the darkness was touching my left hand. And, yes, I know who it is. It's the witch. The terrifying witch who controls Rokujima's night. The 2 hands soaked in the freezing rain gently caressed my left hand. However, I could tell this was happening from the touch. I couldn't see anything out there in the darkness. Then, I felt about my fingers and bent my ring finger upwards. Ow, 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 ow! It's gonna break! Ah! At that moment, I saw something in the darkness for the first time. It was white. The darkness grinned and bared its white teeth. Then, that mouthful of eerie white teeth approached my bent back finger and opened wide. Must have been laughing at me from the darkness. After all, its creepy mouth that twisted upwards in a huge grin. That horrible idea about what it might be trying to do to my finger. A shiver ran up my spine. I resisted as much as I could, but the fangs of glass would wouldn't release my left hand. And then, after giving my finger a playful nibble, it bit down hard, crushing bone and tearing away flesh all at once, and bit it off. Automatopoeia of breaking, crunching noises. Splat. You doing okay, bud?
僕もガタンって音を聞いたような。
風で窓でもガタついたんだろうぜ。何しろオンボロ屋敷だからな。
Again, beat up old. This mansion is like 30 years old.
そういうのってなんだか不気味だよな。本当に魔女が屋敷の中を歩き回ってるのかなって。6年前のガキの頃には随分怯えて夜を過ごしたもんさ。
おお、いる。
Yes, yes, Beatrice exists. We know, we know.
この廊下の向こうには何があるんですか？あちらには客室がございますが、今は使っておりません。
うん、ゲストハウスができたからね。
Mm-hmm.
それまでは客室に僕らは泊まってたんだよ。
ああ、俺も覚えてるぜ。今日のゲストハウスがあまりに綺麗なんで驚いちまった。
まあ、新築だからな。私も自分の部屋をそっちに移したいもんだぜ。シャノン、エリカさんの部屋もゲストハウスでしょ？
はい、ゲストハウスにご用意させていただきました。
Yeah, it'd be annoying though to have to walk over every single time for every single meal.
で、ゲストハウスは屋敷から離れていると。どんな事件が起こっても、
But it would be nice, kind of like,
には聞こえませんね。
having like your own apartment, basically.
やれやれ。まだ探偵モードなのかよ。明日の朝、全員で揃っておはようって言っただけで、がっかりしちまいそうだぜ。
確かに、さすがに明日の朝には、誰かが減ってないと困ります。ねえ。それではゲストハウスへご案内します。
The adults were apparently about to begin a conversation that they didn't want the kids to hear. The real family conference was about to start. As the kids and Erica followed Shannon on their way to the guest house, They passed through the entrance hall.
外は今が一番の振りのようだね。
客までテレビでも見ながら、もう少し振りが弱くなるのを待ってもいいんじゃないかな。
Yeah, just watch TV for fucking 3 days.
ゲストハウスに戻りなさいってママに言われた。ゲストハウスじゃないと怒られる。おお。
I've definitely done that before. It's rough.
ゲストハウスの方が落ち着けるぜ。
It was when I was like super sick. I had like norovirus or something, and I was like absolutely bedridden with like fever and fucking nausea and throwing up, and just like one of those like I'm just gonna waste away and die sicknesses, and all I could do was just watch TV in my bedroom.
不機嫌な親の声も面もごめん被るぜ。
It was during that time that I watched all of Evangelion for the first time as I was like passing in and out of like delirium from a fever. Perfect viewing experience for Evangelion your first time when you're like 15 and like slipping in and out of consciousness and don't know it's real.
ますますにお膳立てが整っているようで。
Erica giggled, an openly indiscreet look on her face.
今傘のご用意をいたします。少々お待ちください。ちょっとずっと気になってました。あの肖像画のご婦人はどなたですか？まあぶっちゃけベアトの肖像画であることは知ってるわけですが。
But you know, you gotta
前回のゲームでは通り過ぎてしまっただけで面白くなかったので。
Erica whispered to herself, but of course no one heard her.
こちらは親方様の恩人ベアトリーチェ様でございます。
おじい様に莫大な黄金を授けてくれた後宮家復興の恩人だそうだよ。
ただのじい様の中の妄想の魔女だぜ。こいつの亡霊が
Oh, hush.
夜な夜な屋敷の中を歩き回って
Well,
る
you're
っ
also
て
not
話
wrong.
らしいぜ。
Maria is also standing right here.
よせよ。俺、小さい頃はその話めちゃくちゃ苦手で、この屋敷の夜は苦手だったんだ。
そんなこともあったね。6年経った今はどう？
すっかり忘れてたが、この肖像画をまじまじ見てるうちに、また。
Getting your hands a little bit sweaty?
ベアトリーチェは怖くないよ。敬いを持っていればね。持ってないと。ね、シャノン。はい。使用人たちの間でもそうささやかれています。夜回りの使用人たちの間でも時折人影を見たとか黄金の
You'll stumble to the bathroom in the middle of the night to go take a piss, and after you've already lifted up the toilet seat, when you're not looking, she'll move it back down, so you just end up pissing all over the top of the toilet. And it goes everywhere. Damn you, Beatrice.
去年だか一昨年だかに使用人の人が階段から転げ落ちて大怪我してやめたじゃん。
Nice workers' comp claim, though.
あれ、ベアトリーチェの呪いだなんてささやかれてなかったっけ？
Jessica told it like a ghost story, trying to scare Erica, but Erica just laughed disdainfully.
なんだよ、薄気味悪いな。ただの事故だろ？偶然だろ？
おじい様がここに肖像画を掲げてすぐのことだから、一昨年のことだと思うよ。確かまさにここの大階段から落ちて怪我をしたんだよね。
そうそう、このバカでかい肖像画は何しろインパクトあったから、掲げられてすぐは屋敷中であれはなんだと話題になったもんだよ。それでその後すぐにここで事故があったもんだから、ベアトリーチェの呪いだってことになってさ。
ベアトリーチェの階段云々はこの肖像画の後から？いえ、その前からも、ベアトリーチェ様の霊が歩き回っているという
just more prominent when you hang up a big fucking creepy portrait like that.
でも、
it gets the imagination warmed up.
もっとそういう話が増えた気がします。
今までは魔女ベアトリーチェと聞いても具体的なイメージが湧かなかったからだろうね。この肖像画によって具体的になり、より一層囲碁の階段に厚みが出たんだと思う。
It's like a beanstalk growing. It's just sending out its tendrils every way, but then it gets the little wooden dowel in the ground that is the portrait Beatrice, so it's able to actually climb and grow on.
そもそも魔女ベアトリーチェなんて誰が言い出したんです？
じい様だぜ。
Oh, he's always ranting.
ってよくこの肖像画が出てくるまでは顔の想像もつかなかったけど。
こんな薄気味悪い肖像画がでーんと飾られたら。
Yeah, no shit.
音楽室のベートーベンの肖像画も、学校創立者の銅像も、みんなちょうどいい階段の音章じゃねえか。
When the school founder is still alive.
確かにこんなに古風な薄暗いお屋敷でずっとこんな風雨の音を聞いていたら
Just he's retired so no one ever sees him, so they think he's fucking dead.
そういう階段の一つや二つ生まれてもおかしくはなさそうです。まあ所詮は階段、妄想、おとぎ話。
Not wrong there.
取るにも足らない寝ぼけたうつけ者のざれ言以下ですが。
Erica looked up at the portrait and smiled at it defiantly. Maria's face immediately soured, as though she felt that the smile was disrespectful to Beato.
ベアトリーチェはいる。そんなこと言ってると
Yeah, I've been to her house.
魔女の呪いがあるよ。おや、怖い怖い。魔女の呪い、大いに望むところですよ、ベアトリーチ
ェ。これでエリカが明日の朝変死してたら魔女殺人事件の幕開けだな。
Yeah, the detective getting murdered would be,
おいおい、
be quite the
お前
twist.
探偵なんだろ。探偵がいきなり殺されるなんて斬新すぎるぜ。
おや、それは困りますね。現場検証に差し支えます。なるほど、ノックスにも探偵を殺してはならないとは書いてありませんし。マリア、いいもの持ってる。ベアトリーチェの呪いを防げるお守り。
お守り？そんなのあるのか？
Yeah, her little scorpion bracelet. After fishing around in her bag, Maria pulled out a string of beads attached to a medal that had a scorpion drawn on it. Looked like a cheap prize from an arcade or something.
なんです？魔除けのお守りなの。効果は弱いけれど、これをつけてれば
my knee just cramped.
ベアトリーチェの呪いを避けられるよ。
Don't know why that happened. I didn't even move it.
他にもクモの巣が魔除けに効くとも聞きました。
There shouldn't be too many of those around, though, if you're doing your job right, Shannon.
ベアトはきっと蝶の化身だからクモも苦手なんだね。
あれ？それは悪事島の悪霊が苦手な方じゃなかったっけ？
One and the same.
熊沢さんが詳しいよな、そういうの。
魔女の悪霊少し興味を持ちました。よかったらゲストハウスでもう少し話を聞かせてもらえませんか？こちらが皆さんの
Yeah,
傘
we'll
です。
Lord dump you.
お使
Don't
いく
worry
ださ
about
い
it.
外はまだだいぶ雨が強いのでお気をつけください。
Shannon held out the umbrellas that she had brought. Everyone headed towards the front door. After that, when there was none left standing in front of the portrait, a golden butterfly appeared. Then, expanding out into a spray of gold, it took a human form. In the hall, empty now that the children had left, Beato stood alone and silent, looking up at her own portrait. Without a doubt, the figure depicted there was like her as an image in a mirror. However, it felt as though its eyes and expression were just a little different from hers. Yeah, it has a smug superiority about it. It mocks me. From her perspective, while the person in the portrait was almost infinitely close to her, it was just as surely a different person entirely.
あなたは誰なんでしょう？私に。
Don't worry,
どうかあなたという人を
everyone has
教え
days
て
when
く
they
ださい。
stand in front of the mirror and ask that question as they just fucking stare blankly into it. Beato had already finished reading the fragments from Featherrigan's archive and showed the tales of that showed the tales of all the games so far. However, the witch called Beatrice, who had been depicted in them, had been so vastly different from her. At the very end, it looked as though that witch and battler had connected just a little bit as adversaries, but for the most part, Beatrice had just bullied battler in nearly all of the tales. Even though this was about her, she had no idea why Beatrice had tormented battler so much when she had supposedly been born for battler's sake. All she had learned from Featherbrain's archive was that the former Beato was a completely different person who defied understanding.
あなたに何があったのですか？私はあなたの卵、そしてヒナ、あなたの翼はお父様のためにあったはず。それがいつ片翼をもがれ、あのように変わり果ててしまったのですか？
She had also been listening to the conversation Battler and the others had just been having. Beatrice can't handle scorpion charms? Beatrice can't deal with spiderwebs? It wasn't as though she would like to touch either of those if she had the choice, but nothing bad would happen if she did. Was being perfectly fine around those proof that she wasn't Beatrice? Even though it was about herself, she didn't understand at all. So, she quietly gazed into her own eyes on the portrait. Felt as though the truth hid behind those eyes. Beato slowly approached the portrait, and then she lightly touched it. Don't do that. The oil in your hands will mess with the oil in the paint or whatever. When she did, it felt as though the portrait rippled slightly. Yes, this is a doorway. A doorway to the long path that would lead her to the Golden Witch, Beatrice. Mario 64, go into the painting. Beato felt a bit dizzy. She lost her balance, feeling as though the world was twisting around her. Then, she couldn't tell which way was up or down, and was swallowed downwards. With a soft, watery sound, Beato was sucked into the portrait. Bloop. The world inside the portrait was pitch black. However, there was nothing unsettling about it. It was a comfortable darkness, like when you put your head under the covers in bed at night. Beato realized this was a world inside her. So despite the darkness, she felt a warm embrace. As long as she asked for nothing, this world would ask nothing of her. But she couldn't remain like this. She didn't want to spend eternity inside the darkness of this world. Yes, I need to hatch out of my egg. This darkness is the darkness of the shell that surrounds the gold butterfly called Beatrice.
私は生まれます。お父様のために、バトラお父様のために生き、尽くすために生まれます。
She put her purpose, her reason for being born, into words. As if in response to those words, the seal on the shell began to melt away. Cracks appeared in the darkness, and a brilliant light enveloped the world. Thanks, I didn't need to see anyway. And so, Beatrice was born. Hi, been a while since we've seen you in this getup. There I stood, along with another me. For a second, I thought that the me in front of me was the real Beatrice, the one I wanted to be more like. However, she was looking back at me with the same bewildered eyes, so I realized that wasn't quite it. That's right. I wasn't the one born from the egg. She was also born. Twin? No, it feels a bit different. How can I put it? Both of us are lacking something and immature. You fucking got that right. What's nice, adjective to describe Beatrice to a T. Yes, both of us are chicks, but we are also fragments of the true Beatrice. Felt as though the two of us together could become the real Beatrice. No one explained this to us. However, we naturally understood. I decided to talk to this other me. Unless I get to know her and become one with her, I won't be able to become the Beatrice Father desires. In other words, the thing that Father wants for me was also heartbroken and was so heartbroken to find missing. Must be something that she has. It's nighttime right now. Yeah, that's more like Beatrice. The Beatrice with her hair down looked at me dubiously several times, then finally spoke. She used the word wara. Oh god, that's gonna be a rough one. I can't even speak now. Wara. Tell us about talking in the first person in Japanese. Wabara, yep, is the pronunciation that Beatrice uses throughout episode 1 through 4 to refer to herself. Historically, wa. And I need to pronounce it with a proper Japanese R, which is, it's more like putting the tongue at like the tip of your teeth, like you're making an L sound, like la, wa la. But yeah, I don't have the muscle memory, so I'm not gonna be able to say it. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Was a word used to refer to handmaidens, chambermaidens, and children, including errand boys and girls. The pronoun was derived from these meanings and was therefore a humble one, used mostly by women. However, in the context of modern fiction, the use of that one is stereotypically associated with noble women from olden times, and the anachronism of this choice of pronoun can have the secondary effect of imparting an imperious air of a character's speech. In this sense, it is the perfect fit for Beatrice, and an important part of her of the role language that makes up her character. Important part of the role language. Okay, sure. She used the word, wow. I'm just gonna need to practice this, off screen. Just standing in the mirror for like half an hour straight to get the mouthfeel down. Wow. To refer to herself just like the true Beatrice. Looks like she really does have something that I lack. She's the piss to your vinegar that makes up Beatrice's being. Hello, Beatrice. Second, Beatrice the Elder, a mysterious witch who existed even before the rules. She has the same name as Beato, but she was not given the purpose of devoting herself to Battler. A mere shadow of a witch sealed away by Kinzo, she spends her days pulling small pranks and clearing away the anti-magic toxin for the sake of her resurrection. Has many things in common with the evil spirits of Akujikima, so many words, Akujikijima, such as fear of spiderwebs. She was the one who gave Shannon the golden butterfly brooch.
そなたは？私もベアトリーチェです。後ろ宮バトラに仕えるために生まれてきました。わらわは黄金の魔女にして六軒島の夜の支配者。後ろ宮バトラは知っているが、あのような小僧になぜに仕えねばならぬのか。
I realized that the thought I'd my mouth. I'm losing it. I realized that the thought I'd had a second ago, that together we could become the true Beatrice, might really have been true. Though the person in front of me does have the part that makes her a witch, which I lack, she does not possess the mission to live for Ushirmiya Battler's sake. She has what I do not, and I'm sure I have something she does not.
私たちはきっと二人で一人の存在なんです。双子みたいなものだと思います。いいや違う。そなたはわらわの妹だ。
Sure.
わらわはそなたが生まれるよりずっと前からここ。そうだったんですか。
I was born later. So, does that mean the mission to live for Ushirmiya Battler's sake was born later on? However, I don't think my existence is something quite as faint and intangible as a mission. I have enough of a personality to think and act as I am doing now. So, the witch Beato and I are separate people, both of us possessing something the other lacks. In that sense, maybe it's fitting for us to call ourselves sisters, as she says.
私はあなたのことが知りたいんです。わらわも知りたい。そなたもまたわらわであることは理解している。そしてなぜにそのような言葉遣いであり、バトラに使えねばならぬのか。
Yes, you're awfully meek for Beatrice.
そしてどうやらそれを理解せぬ限り、わらわたちは互いに未熟らしい。私は完全なベアトリーチェになりたいんです。わらわはそなたが生まれるまでこれで完全な存在だった。しかしこうしてそなたが現れた今、そなたを受け入れるのがわらわの定めであるように思う。わらわもまたそなたのことを知りたい。
The witch Beato's tone was very slightly arrogant, matching with her self-proclaimed status as the older sister. However, since we both realized that we were the same person, there was no need to be unkind. This was probably because she understood, after meeting me, that her current form was not her real self.
ここはどこですか？お屋敷のホール？あ。
Beato gasped. Her portrait wasn't there. Does that mean that this was at least 2 years in the past?
そうとも。後ろ宮の屋敷のホールである。夜はわらわの時間。そして夜の屋敷はわらわのものだ。金蔵の間抜けは相変わらずわらわを蘇らせようだの。トラ皮肉な話よ。そのわらわはこうして堂々と毎晩屋敷を支配しているというのに。あなたはここで何を
？Pushes people down the stairs apparently.
体を
Leaves the refrigerator
あの
open.
肉々しい鎮守の社により魔力もない。しかしわずかずつに日々魔力は蘇りつつあるのだ。最後には見事復活を遂げ、あの金蔵を嘲笑ってやりたいぞ。わらわは見事そなたの檻を抜け出したとな。その笑いだけを楽しみに夜な夜な徘徊して暇つぶしをしている亡霊といったところよ。ご一緒してもいいですか？
Learn how to play pranks?
無論。何しろ
More the merrier.
そなたもまたわらわの一部。右腕の同行を断る左腕がどこにいる？断る道理もない。そなたを迎えようぞ。我が妹、新しきベアトリーチェよ。ありがとうございます。お姉様。こそばゆい呼び方だ。だが悪くない。さあ、
just more to inflate your ego.
夜の屋敷を散歩しよう。わらわの退屈な日常を紹介しようぞ。
The two Beatrices changed their forms into 2 gold butterflies and fluttered silently into the depths of the shadowy mansion. Well then, can't say I expected to go down this route. Ugh. But with that is where we are going to end it here for today. Once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you guys all next time, where we will, I don't know, continue on doing whatever happens next. Whether that be, Beatrice's dive down her own mind into the past, or this present and play more word games with Erica. Who knows? But I need to go into OBS. I'm not OBS. Go into Premiere and take out that cut around the chapter change that I put in there. So, catch you guys later. Bye. Bye.